Vlad Tepes was arguably an honorable yet debated figure in history who took a stand against the many threats to his territory. But his actions were not without controversy. To best understand how Vlad Tepes, better known as Vlad the Impaler, took a stand for his people, one should first have an idea of his life and the many factors which may have influenced his actions. Picture it: Sighisoara, a city in Transylvania, 1431. It is early winter and Vlad has just been born. Although his father is currently in exile, Vlad will one day grow up to be the Prince of Wallachia. However, during this period in time, this will not prove to be an easy task. Many kingdoms and empires continually sought ways to expand. In light of this, a ruler such as Vlad frequently had to stand up for his people and his kingdom against invaders or inner conflicts such as crime, which could weaken the kingdom. Therefore, to keep his people safe from such threats, Vlad had to be a firm and strict ruler. Despite the fact that many people perceive his style of rule as tyrannical, Vlad Tepes acted in the best way he knew how in order to keep his citizens safe and to stand up against enemies of the kingdom. In the year of our Lord 1442, Vlad Dracula is required to pay tribute to Sultan Murad the Great and imprisoned by him. Vlad Dracula and his younger brother Radu are sent to the Egrigaz fortress in Anatolia.
I have received a letter from Sultan Murad. He requires that I be imprisoned and give up my rule here.
What will happen in Wallachia, my lord?
I am sure the Sultan will take care of it, and hopefully I will be returned to my rule eventually.
But what is to be done with your children?
Inform Vlad and Radu to prepare themselves to leave for the Sultan court. If they do return, it shall not be soon. I leave my little children to be slaughtered for the peace of the Christians. Mircea should try to seek refuge somewhere else.
One can see that Vlad grew up with the constant threat of death from his enemies who ruled over his father's kingdom. This affected the way he ruled later in life, for Vlad was always trying to keep his people safe and his enemies out of the kingdom. Many years have passed, and Vlad is 17 years of age. He has been released from his imprisonment after the assassination of his older brother Mircea and his father. The Turks give him the throne of Wallachia, but it is quickly seized by the forces of Janos Hunyadi, or the White Knight.
Vladislav, the ruler of Wallachia that we have appointed, has introduced a policy in favor of the Turks, our enemies. We must remove him from the throne, but who could replace him? It must be a Christian, one who has loyalty to Wallachia and is against the Turks. Send for Vlad Dracula.
Vlad works constantly to keep his kingdom thriving and crime-free, in hopes that this would protect the kingdom itself as well as his rule over it. It is possible that he sometimes took this too far, fearing that weakness would bring an invader to the kingdom.
I know your kingdom is an honest one, my lord, so last night before retiring, I felt safe to leave my money out in my cart in the street. However, I awoke today to find 160 gold ducats missing.
I will make sure your money is returned and the thief is caught, or I will have the city destroyed. Have 161 ducats removed from the treasury and given to that man until the thief is caught. Ah, I see you have returned. Yet the thief has been caught and your money returned.
Yes, my lord, but an extra ducat was included with the money. I have come to return it.
You are a good and honest man for returning the ducat. Had you not, I would have had you impaled with the thief.
As one may well imagine, with the enforcement of Vlad's policies, theft disappeared almost entirely under his rule. Let us now see the effect this had in Wallachia, and how this would have most definitely strengthened Vlad's rule.
Under my rule, crime has nearly disappeared in my kingdom.
It has indeed, my lord, and it is renowned around the country for this fact.
I know this, and I want those who travel here to witness this with their own eyes. But how?
That is an interesting thought, but how do you propose it is accomplished?
I believe I know a way which we can show all those who enter here the respect which our people have for the law. Take this cup and put it in the town square. Those who dare to touch it shall be impaled on the spot.
We have seen how Vlad rules his kingdom and the hold he has over it. How hard he has worked to keep Wallachia thriving and safe from problems within it. Now let us see how he works to keep it safe from what is outside its walls. Vlad has been invited to the Turkish-controlled city of Giurgiu by Sultan Mohammed II, yet he believes that there is a plot to overthrow him. As always, he tries to think of a way to keep his rule and to protect his kingdom from enemies.
I have been sent for by the Sultan. However, I do not think that his invitation is in friendship. If he plans to attack, I must outsmart him and attack first. Gather a small force of men. Tell them we are to attack Giurgiu. Then gather a cavalry force and order them to follow behind us.
Although he is known for his violence and skill in battle, Vlad Dracula is rarely recognized for his cunning in stemming invasions of Wallachia.
Greetings, my friend. May we gain entrance to this fine city? Perhaps. What is your business here? My friend and I are but simple merchants, come to sell our wares. Very well. Ah!
With his attack on Giurgiu, Vlad has started a war with the Sultan. The Sultan gathers a force of over 60,000 troops, and with them has nearly defeated Vlad and his men. However, Vlad formulates a plan to beat them back and save his kingdom.
I have created a plan that I believe we can use to defeat the Turks. They are camped just outside this forest. If we wait until nightfall, we can attack under the cover of darkness while their guard is down.
The plan is daring. However, I think it might work. But we must try to kill the Sultan for this to be guaranteed.
I agree, but the Sultan's tent should not be hard to find. It is likely bigger than all the rest. Go and rally the men. Tell them we are to attack when the moon is low. That seemed successful. Did anyone manage to kill the Sultan?
No, my lord, no.
You cowards! Those of you with wounds, come forward. You, with the wound on your back. You got that fleeing from a fight, didn't you? Coward! Have him impaled.
After the battle we just witnessed, the Sultan surrendered, but Vlad was later overthrown by his brother Radu. Vlad eventually took back his throne for a short time, but was finally killed by longtime enemies in 1476. After his burial, his island tomb sunk and has never been found. We have been given a glimpse of the life of the infamous Vlad the Impaler. We have seen how he took a stand, but there is more to his life. We saw that he faced many challenges to his rule and to his kingdom. He dealt with these in no uncertain terms, and perhaps this is the best thing he could have done, for it has been said that it is better to be feared as a ruler than loved. But why did he do this? One may say it was for his own gain, or that it was out of cruel insanity or fear. But perhaps it was more. Perhaps it was out of an extreme sense of duty to his people and his kingdom, to keep them safe from those who may have wished to weaken or destroy them. Yet, like the vampires of Gothic horror who owe him their basis, his spirit and the effects of his actions have survived through the ages.